make this? Take my breath away. Folks, I want to bring up somebody. I want to bring up Noel Lee from Caliber Wings. Noel, why don't you come on up here? You have some stuff you want to show everybody. Noel, come on up. Noel, welcome to the Robotech franchise, man.
Lights, please. Thank you. Oh, Speedball!
Run for the hills.
Hello, yeah. Thanks, Kevin.
Hey, no problem, Noel. Noel, tell us about this, because everybody wants to know, like, what is this? It's a die-cast. Tell them.
Yeah, it's a 1/2 scale die-cast model, which I have on this table right now. And basically what it is, it's really detailed. It's, I mean, we all know that not many people have the skills to make a model. And we want to actually deliver something that's completed, something that is really accurate and weighs in your hands, not just a plastic kit. So it's die-cast. It's basically 99% or 95% die-cast with some plastic parts. And this will be followed with you know, more Robotech merchandise like the VF1 in 1/2 scale as well.
There'll also be the Rick Hunter version too, won't there?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so here. Folks, just so you know, the wings do move.
Yeah, we got pilots inside there as well. We got interchangeable nozzles. We got, you can display it in flight mode. We have a stand for it as well. It's not here at the moment. And weapons, 6 Phoenix missiles, 2 sidewinders. Yeah, it's pretty good. Great stuff. This will be available in 4th quarter.
Okay.
Yeah, this year.
All right, there we go. Excellent. You know, and speaking of metal, folks, we went to the Shanghai Comic Convention last year to celebrate Robotech's 25th anniversary in China. And at that convention, a future concept made its debut. The all-metal, super scale VF1. Yeah. Folks, why don't we turn down the lights for this? We're going to show a video here. Here's what you guys
Sorry, I
see.
just wanted him to get all the spotlight. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. Here's another photo of it. Now folks, last year, everyone wanted to ask us, does it transform?
Does it transform?
Does it transform? Here's the answer.
The answer is no.
You want to see that again?
We took the Sony picture edition. It's like, we had to do it twice.
This was built by an artist named Sun Xinquan. Sun Xinquan informs us he now wants to build a 1/1 scale fully transformable VF1.
If he can make that thing fly, I'm so going there.
Now folks, people are going to say, where can I see this video? Well, this will be on the Robotech.com website. And speaking of the Robotech.com website, you know, over the past couple of years, it's been kind of, well, subpar, to be honest with you. So over the past couple of months, we have been rebuilding the website. Yes, we've been rebuilding it. And folks, would you like to take a first look at the new website? Here it is. Here's the main page. We'll also have a news section, a new store, And folks, everyone's asked, will the Infopedia return? The answer is yes, and this is a new Infopedia. And folks, we also have this cool little drop-down menu where if you click on it, you can go to the forums, and this is what the forums will be back. So the forums will be back as well. And people ask, well, if the forums are going to be back, what about my account? To reclaim your Robotech.com account, please use the original email address you used to make your account. The new passwords must contain both upper and lowercase characters with at least one numerical character. All old and new accounts must agree to our terms of use. Fans will then receive a confirmation email to reactivate their account. And folks, you don't have to wait for the site to launch, because the new Robotech.com website is up and running right now.
As of 2 hours ago. And also, if you guys aren't users, you can sign up, of course. You don't have to be an old user. You can be a new user.
And speaking of, folks, speaking of art, what about the art books? So many of you remember Robotech's arts 1, 2, and 3. And many of you asked us, please, to reprint them. There's just one problem, we can't reprint them because the company, Starblaze, went out of business decades ago. So we teamed up with Udon Studios. We're not going to reprint the art books. We are going to rebuild them from the ground up with a focus on each of the individual series that make up Robotech, starting with Robotech the Macross Saga. And to talk about these art books, I want to bring up from Harmony Gold, Tommy Yu, and from Udon, Matt Moylan. Gentlemen, come on up. Matt, welcome to the Robotech franchise. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for having me too.
Yeah,
I'm glad to be aboard.
All right, gentlemen, tell us about these books.
Well, they're a lot of work. He actually said we're going to be rebuilding this. We already finished the first one, actually.
Really?
Yeah, so we're doing first Robotech Visual Archive, the Macross Saga. So it's obviously going to cover the whole first era of Robotech. It's going to include an episode guide. It's got all the character designs, mecha designs. It's got tech specs. It's got a really great essay by Carl Masick that was included in the original Robotech Art 1, which is awesome because it's all about the origins of Robotech, but he wrote it in the 80s, so it's a really great time capsule of perspective Robotech and of anime at that time. So it's really cool read.
You know, I am thoroughly impressed by the extraordinary amount of work that Matt here put together into it. To give you a little bit of background on Robotech Art 1, it was built from what you would call the model packs, the model sheets of pre-production designs from the original animated series to keep all the episodes consistent with one another. But then these became an invaluable tool where, for the early merchandise in the 80s, these could be presented to the licensees. And this item, which was called the Robotech Style Guide back then, some fans might know of its existence, evolved into Robotech Art 1. And this is an example of one of the story pages of one of the most important episodes, Force of Arms. And this was all the information for that section in Robotech Art 1. And the next slide will show the work that Matt had put into it for the page in Robotech Visual Guide. So not only does it have information about Force of Arms, it's got great screenshots, and it gives you a little bit of information like the original Japanese title and air date, so that fans who are interested in the Japanese origin and roots could compare that. And this is also really interesting right here, where we see the original art presented in Robotech Art 1 with the Zentradi flagship. And this was done in the era of analog. If you look carefully at the center of the Zentradi flagship, the parts of the artwork were actually cut and pasted together in a photocopier. To give you an idea of, and this is one of those things where you go, wait, Robotech Art 1 was really like that, now you can't unsee it. But with the new visual guide, you'll see that we digitally cleaned up, restored a lot of pre-production designs, and
Yeah, this is a lot of work to just clean up the artwork and make sure we're not destroying anything. And it came from a lot of different sources, from just scans of the original art books. From Tommy's actually got some of the model sheets in his own collection. So we tried to get the best source for every piece of art in the book, and also make sure that we got every piece of art that is out there.
yeah, so it wasn't just Robotech Art 1, we actually dove into the original model packs that were provided to us from the Japanese studio back then. And in some cases, yes, there were some private collections involved where we actually had some of the original pre-production artwork, the first-hand illustrations. What was interesting was to realize how young the production staff were, because when we flipped over some of the pre-production designs, we found that it was done on the back of their homework. Well, this one's really great. This one actually has the size comparisons of the various Entrati vessels with the mascot from Studio Mue. So it's just amazing to see how huge the mascot was in comparison to this Entrati. And here's a look at Lemumi. And one thing that's very important is when we were also compiling all the artwork together, we made sure that you had put together a list of all the Japanese creators and studios involved and made sure that they were listed within this book. Oh, this next one is also great. Rick Hunter, and it also gives his original name, Hikaru Chijo. And you'll also see, again, things that fans love to dive into with the pre-production designs, the comparisons of the characters standing to one another.
You know what's great about that chart is the taller, what is it? I think it's the taller you are, the more likely you are to get killed by the other series.
Gentlemen, when will this be ready for purchase?
This will be out in stores in this October, into the end of October.
All right, excellent. And speaking of publishing, folks, let's talk about Robotech Comics. Titan Comics now has the license. Titan Comics will not only make new Robotech comics, but publish the entire back catalog of the original Robotech comics. Wow. And Titan has a new comic writer. He's written such comics as Conan, X-Men, and Star Wars. His name is Brian Wood. But what about the storyline? What's it going to be about? Well, Titan Comics editor Chris Thompson has recorded a video to help explain what it will be about.
My name's Chris Thompson, and I'm the brand manager for Robotech at Titan Comics. When I started here last year, Robotech was one of the really exciting projects I was going to be working on because it's something I grew up with. So I guess like you guys, I'm an old school fan. I'm genuinely into this material, and so it's been great to be able to input both creatively and in terms of the marketing and really forge a direction for where we're going. I wanted to give you a little insight into what that is, because I know there's been a lot of questions. It seems a little mysterious, and I guess that is part of it. We want to have an element of mystery. This isn't just another retelling of the Macross saga. It's not just us revisiting that old stuff. We've looked at Karl Maxek's original vision, which if you've ever read about that, you might have some inkling of what I'm getting at. But he had a view for what Robotech would do and how it would work, and we're really coming back to that. I know that originally it was based on 3 incredible Japanese anime, but we want to take what was special about Robotech on its own and really expand on that, forge that, and create something great. So if you like the original series, if you like the original anime, they're all still there for you to enjoy, but there's something new of Robotech that we can provide for you. So you get to see these characters again, you get to meet them, but with modern depths, modern challenges, just the kind of storytelling and character development that you can do today that maybe you didn't do in the 80s. And I'm really excited about the direction. Everything's up for grabs. No one's fate is predetermined. You really don't know what to expect, but there is a point and a reason to it all. And I hope you're going to be along for the ride with us, because I'm genuinely excited, not because it's my job, but because as a fan, I'm like, this is some cool stuff. And you know, I can promise you that what we're doing is going to be really cool.
Also, Titan's main made some great comic cover art with these two by Carl Kerschel and the center one by the Waltrip brothers. Two more variants by Carl Kerschel and the center one by Mikhail Micardo. The one on the left is Carl Kerschel, the one in the middle is Stanley Lau, and the final one is by Kitty Honey Cosplay. And we have two action figure variants by Blair Shed and the Comic-Con exclusive by Rachel Stott. We have two special Midtown Comics editions, and the center one by Andy Cotton. And we've got a cool new trailer we want to introduce to you folks. It's going to be a bit loud, so get ready. Andrew James. Andrew, come on up here. Like to welcome you.
Thanks for having me again, guys. Good to be here.
Thanks, Andrew. We love you. Guys, we have a few minutes left in the panel, so tell us about the comics, Andrew. Tell us what.
Well, first I want to give a big shout out to editor Martin Eady, who's been shepherding this back in the UK. So I'm sort of senior comics editor over the comics division. So this has been one of the projects I've been helping out on, but Martin's been doing the day-to-day envisioning with Brian, Marco Turini, the artist, and Tommy, obviously, doing the approvals back at Robotech headquarters.
I have to compliment Martin, juggling so much content coming in. And one thing that reflects the interest in this first issue is just the number of printings of the different covers. This has been driven by a lot of the retailers.
Yes, so there are 6 variant covers through Diamond, which are available on the Titan Comics booth at the moment, 5537. But also we've got, I think there was a total of 32 total covers on the first, all driven by retailers who were really, really excited about Robotech as a brand, as a series, and by the actual comic book itself. So it's been one of the ones where it's not just the creative team that people are excited about, but the passion that we put behind it, Harmony Gold has put behind it, the fact that it's not every series that goes to that many covers, that many retailers getting excited about supporting it in their stores. So if you do have a local store that has a Robotech exclusive cover, support them because they're supporting you and this brand.
Now, I understand that this first issue, because of the amount of demand at the wholesale level, it's already sold out.
It's sold out and it's going to a second printing. So the second printing cover will be in stores alongside issue 2 on August 27th.
All right. Now, it's August 27th is the
issue 2.
Issue 2. Now, there's one little detail about the issue 1 that...
yes, one minor wrinkle. Due to some issues at the wholesale level, it will now be on sale August 2nd, as opposed to the last week of July. Check it out, that's 2 weeks' time. If you are here at the convention and you want to read it already, it's available at the Titan stand. So yes, you guys will already be.
And actually, folks, to make it up for you all, since we delayed for 2 weeks, we're going to give everybody here a panel exclusive cover of issue number 1. You're going to get the comic for free.
We're going to hand those out right now.
And this comes back to our message of thank you, everyone. All this success with Robotech is because of your support, and we can't say it enough to say thank you to you all.
Yes, the comic isn't just about reaching out to new fans, it's supporting the core who's been with us all along.
All right, and folks, while you're looking at the comics, if you open to the first page, you're going to see like a red sort of disc in there. That's a special edition vinyl record. So folks, as you can see, we have outstanding new partners. a live-action film set up for Sony Pictures. As Carl Masek said, the best is yet to come. We have some brief time for some questions, and we got the Robotech mystery box, so why don't you guys line up? Try to keep your questions brief as possible.
We only have about 9 minutes, guys, so it's going to be quick this year. Sorry.
No worries, I'm
Sir.
you got Are we going to see some more Ben Dixon love for the merchandising and the models? Possibly, I hope. What? I saw the video, I'm super stoked about that.
Look, anything's possible. We're in the infant stages on some of this stuff, but we love Ben too. And I love the guy who played it. He's a personal friend of mine.
A 12-inch plushie.
I'm not going to tell you anything. Come get your prize.
Sir.
I have 2 questions, because I want to do the one that's out of the way right now. Can you tell us anything at all about, anything at all about the new movie outside of the new director?
Not really.
Not really. Okay, we got that out of the way, everyone. We can't.
I mean, look, I wish I could. I wish I knew more, and I wish that you know, this literally happened Monday, and we were getting ready to come here.
Yeah.
So as soon as we know more, we will be happy to share that with you.
Okay, and I actually have a real question.
Yeah.
So I recently saw the Model Space brand Millennium Falcon. Have you guys seen those at all?
Let me see.
Oh my gosh, they're go look at they're crazy. The kid concept thing just reminded me of that. Are you guys? You gotta look them up. I was hoping you guys would do one of the SDF, like nice big kit you can put together. You can actually put like the hallways in.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Thank you for that idea.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. Yeah, we're not actively doing that right now, but it's a great
The
idea.
kids concept things are beautiful. So that'd be like, I'm like, oh.
Cool. Come get a prize.
Okay.
Only because we got a line. We don't have like we're giving away good stuff, by the way. We're not giving away soundtracks. I made sure.
Very quickly also,
Yeah.
thank you very much to all of you for all your hard work.
Thanks.
And the other question, because Sony's taking the charge on all of this, it begs the question from me.
Yep.
Are we going to see anything from Sony Online Entertainment in terms of games, or from Sony View in terms of perhaps new series?
All of that is being discussed very actively right now. All of it.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, are we going to see anything virtual reality or augmented reality in the comic book realm?
In the comic book realm?
Well, augmented reality for comic books, virtual reality in the pictures of the Sony.
We haven't discussed that with Titan yet, but anything's possible. Thank you for the suggestion. You're not getting a commission or anything, just so you know.
Sir.
Thanks you guys for being here again this year. With the board games coming out, are you guys leaning towards maybe doing a miniatures version of Robotech?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question?
Miniatures version of Robotech, miniature gaming, rather than just a cardboard cutout?
Oh, I see. Yeah, we're open to everything right now. I don't have anything actively happening in that world, but we're just getting this license and we're just getting started in board gaming. My son loves board games. He's like a board game freak, and so it's like, we have to do board games. He's got 500 of them. And he plays them like they're crack. So I know they're hot, and we like all genres, and we've talked about deck building, we've talked about all kinds of different kinds of games. So, hopefully if this goes well and we start piecing it together, we'll be making all kinds of games. If I had my say, I'd make it happen right away.
Come on up and get your script book.
Get your script book, we're giving you a script book.
Sir.
Hi. One of the movies that's coming out next year is Ready Player One.
Yeah. Ernie.
Can you confirm or deny if any Robotech mecha will be in that movie?
I don't know that, but Ernie and I have emailed each other. But it's been strictly like, hey, thanks for putting us in the book. And he's like, I'm a fan. And I'm like, here's some stuff and stuff like that. So I don't know. Shall I call my friend Steven and find out? No, I don't know what Steven's for. But no, I don't know.
But I can confirm you're going to get a Robotech Mecha Super Deformed Kids concept fighter. How's that sound?
We only got time for a few more, guys.
Robotech's such a long story to tell, so when you're talking about doing the movie, I know you haven't probably gotten the script or everything yet, so we're looking at a trilogy, 3 different generations.
Oh, we love that. Are you kidding me? Like 17,000 movies. Part 1 through 17,000. Sony Pictures is looking at it. Obviously, as a tentpole, it has to be that way, right? It's such a deep story. Let's get the first one done, and then we'll talk about the rest of the ones. But yeah, we'd love that.
All right.
Absolutely.
Come on up, get your script book.
Hi. Thanks for bringing back the art books. I'm real excited about that. And I was wondering if you guys are going to be doing any video games.
Again, we're actively talking to Sony Pictures about that. You know, Sony is involved in every bit of that world right now for us, and the movie has a lot to do with that. So we have to put all those puzzle pieces in place. It's not just an overnight thing. But we are actively speaking to them about video games.
Great.
Yep, and virtual reality and all that other stuff.
Hi. Toonami had a Masterpiece series before.
Yeah.
Any chance of bringing that back and maybe like centrality or in-bid scale type figures?
Yeah, I've been talking to George about doing some villain stuff. Nothing's been inked yet. We haven't really, said what we're doing, but and we haven't talked about re-releasing the Masterpiece stuff. But the new ones have kind of a homage to it, right? Because the packaging is the same.
The US re-releases, they're deliberately being designed to be an homage to the Masterpiece series. The main issue is just simply cost. The Masterpiece was $79.95 years ago, and they're trying to bring it at a cost that's reachable to most fans. And they're also re-releasing the Alpha Fighter at only a slightly smaller size, and the price will be much more reasonable.
Great, thanks.
Possible. Sure. These are the new ones, by the way. These are the ones from Supercell.
Please.
I thank you for the news for the live action film. I'm very excited about it, but I'm also cautiously optimistic with hesitant regarding hope. Because you know how executives a lot of times turn it into formulaic kind of thing. Do you know how if you have any, if they're going to be trying to keep to the core of the film, at least of the base source material, and not turn it into something like that? And also, what kind of schedule are you looking at for a release date?
So we don't have a release date yet. Right now they have the option to make the film, and they are very excited about doing that. As anything that turns from A to B, there has to be changes, let's be real. It's 85 episodes deep, right? And so they're gonna have to pick and choose. And they're gonna modernize it, I'm sure, because that's the smart thing to do. They're not gonna have Rick come out, if Rick's in it, with an ascot. It's not going to happen, right? And so some of you might go, come on, right? And so as soon as we get the details and are able to speak about it, we will do that. But yes, we want it to be, as close to the original vision as possible. That's all we can tell you. Sorry, I don't have more.
Get your script book.
Get a script book out of it.
Sir.
So as a fan of the story and lore of Robotech, I was wondering if, for Titan Comics, are you guys planning to do more than just this one series, like multiple series, telling other stories as well?
So the main one is an ongoing series. So the idea is to kind of explore it in as much detail as we can. And I advise anyone reading it, keep your eyes open and pay close attention to especially the first chunk of pages. Because as Chris Thompson mentioned on the video, it's not just a straight retelling of the beginning of the Macro Saga. It's actually close in many ways to the Dark Tower, I suppose, in terms of just a hint there. I'll leave that out, work it out for yourselves. But yeah, there's definitely a lot going on, and it's entertaining on a surface level, but there's things that drill down into it as well in the comic series. So
We have time for just one more question, guys. I'm so sorry. Just one more.
Hey, so one of the reasons why I like Robotech is because I can see myself in a great many of the characters and at different points in my life. So the question to you is, going across the stage, which character do you identify with the most?
Angelo Dante.
For me, that's a really tough one because I'm like you, I see a little bit, but I guess I'm kind of Roy, but I don't want any pineapple salad. Or maybe I do. Some people hate me online.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I guess I'll be Rick, sort of a maverick guy, I like red color, white, red, yeah.
Max, it's all about love.
I saw the series backwards, so I've always been with Rand.
Oh yeah!
for me, flying in a civilian fighter into something he doesn't quite understand.
Right on.
Sir, come on up. Last prize, you get the Roy Fokker Farewell Big Brother. Folks, thank you so very much for staying late. We appreciate it. Please drive home safely. We'll see you all next year. Thank you.